In this video, you will see an example of a CCA-created math lesson for a 7th grade student. This is a guided practice lesson from Unit 4, Writing Algebraic Expressions. This guided practice lesson helps students move beyond the original learning and instruction from the past days to supported practice. The student will be working through several mathematical problems in the lesson with the support of video, images, tables, and text helps. CCA lessons always begin with a lesson overview. Here, the learners are presented with can-do statements. Through this lesson, they will be able to write algebraic expressions that represent real-world scenarios and use algebraic expressions to represent perimeter and area of triangles and rectangles. Vocabulary is presented here, such as equivalent expressions. The only math kit materials required for this lesson is the Ready 7 Mathematics Practice and Problem Solving book. This problem solving book, as well as many other physical materials, are mailed to families at the beginning of the school year. In this lesson, the Practice and Problem Solving book is listed, as it can be used to review previous work. There are no additional household materials needed for this lesson, and the approximate lesson length is 80 minutes. Just like with all CCA lessons, learners are encouraged to take breaks as needed. The next page of this lesson contains a warm-up activity. Here, the usefulness of algebraic expressions is detailed for the learner, which includes a table below, listing the operation, words, and an example of the algebraic expression. This is to help show learners that there are several different words that mean addition or subtraction, for example, and these words correlate directly to algebraic expressions. A video embedded in the lesson from Khan Academy helps explain how to write expressions with variables. Let's watch just a portion of this.
Take the quantity -3 times x, so take the quantity -3 times x, and then add 1, and then add 1. So the quantity -3 times x, we can write that as -3x, and then we need to add 1 to that. So that's going to be plus 1. Now this one.
After watching the video, learners are to complete a practice multiple choice question by selecting the expression that represents the phrase, the sum of b and 5. Next, learners will see how to write algebraic expressions to help solve problems. Now, here's an example of how to write these algebraic expressions. Let's watch a portion of this CCA-created video on writing expressions to represent scenarios.
Remember, of course, that ways to indicate multiplication are either the x, we have an asterisk, okay, parentheses. For instance, if we would say, like, I'll put it right here, if we would say 4 times 2, okay, the parentheses would indicate multiplication, or the word of. And in this case, the word of is what we see. Of means to multiply.
After watching the video, learners are directed to a multiple choice practice question. Although these are practice questions, their teacher will be able to monitor these responses to provide timely feedback. Next, learners are directed to draw a diagram to help solve a problem. This diagram can be drawn directly in the lesson by using the sketchpad. Again, this is practice, but it is something their teacher can monitor. As learners consider the next problem, they are reminded that sales tax is added to the original cost of the jacket to find this total cost. Learners are to complete this multiple choice practice question and then follow up with a short answer to explain which expression they used to solve the problem and find the total cost. Responses can be typed directly in the lesson, which will be available for their teacher to review. The next page of this lesson has a similar layout. Here, learners will solve a word problem and then follow it up with a short answer to explain their reasoning. Upon completing this page, learners are directed to complete their iReady practice for the day. Here is where learners can launch the iReady application in a new window. iReady is an online assessment and instruction that helps teachers provide all students a path to proficiency and growth in reading and mathematics. iReady is often found throughout math and English language arts courses at CCA. What you see here is personalized practice that helps students firm up or extend their math skills, and the content does not always correlate to the lesson. To finish the math lesson for the day, learners are to practice in iReady for 15 minutes. Once finished in iReady, the learner has completed the math lesson for the day. A summary is provided of what they accomplished in the lesson, and they're reminded that they will prepare for a quiz in the next lesson by solving problems involving more algebraic expressions. We hope you enjoyed this CCA lesson tour. For more information about CCA, check out ccaeducate.me.